remember that they're changing my voice. So yesterday I was very much abused. They were sexually harassed. They were using technology, what have you. I don't want to get into it too much. I was not going to talk about more than the harassment, but there's no way to kind of explain what happened here. I endure all kinds of abuse because people won't rally to me. While females, hot chicks are sleeping with my abusers and the people who play stupid about it. And that overkills why Isaiah 13 comes into play, why all the rape that's implicit in Revelation when you couple it with Isaiah occurs. Okay, because people are handing over their families to the rape cult spirits that they're either aggressively pushing or they're playing stupid about, what have you. You know, kids are getting raped all the time. And people come forward all the time talking about their sexual abuse, male and female and children. Every 6.5 minutes a child is abused. Now, what does it mean, right? So you could be the toughest person ever lived. If they're using technology to abuse you in various ways, burn you, maybe sexually abuse you. I've heard a lot of stories about people who have been sexually abused. Okay, then you get the same crowd that goes, who does that? And, oh, he'll get over it. These kind of guys. And they're saying, hey, are you okay? Do you need medicine? And I have a couple of people in those comments within the last couple of days or so in some of my recent videos right now. Though they didn't speak on this particular issue. It's very personal. It's very awkward. Okay, but I stand with the righteous. And I don't, in a sense, I stand with the victims of rape because I don't approve of rape, even if somebody is cheating me out of my right to lead. So on that issue, okay, yes, I am a victim of sexual harassment far more than like anyone you've ever heard of. And I'm a victim of technological abuse in various forms. And I know for sure that people are remotely sexually assaulted. And whether they're a male or female or child, there's nothing to be ashamed of. That is their sickness, not yours. I've even interviewed one of my ex-girlfriends from years and years ago. I was with her like 14 years ago or something. It's more than that now. Actually, I was with her when I was 21 or 22. Yeah, I was actually about 21 years. So at the time I had interviewed her, I was with her 14 years before that. But now it's 21 years or so. So that interview was like 8 years old or something like this. 9 years old. I think it's 9 years old. Something like that, right? And so she had offered on her own free will, like everyone else I interviewed, information, and she had said that she firmly believes that the rapist and the people playing dumb about the rapist, logically it's implied, right? And playing dumb about the rape are the ones who have issues. They have something to be ashamed of, okay? Not the rape victim. Now, even if you made a mistake, you've made a dumb mistake. Hey, people make mistakes. You got drunk, you hung out with these guys, yeah. Okay, but do you let that cause you to be sexually promiscuous and shun Jesus? That's when you start getting blamed significantly. I mean, don't get it twisted. If you made a mistake, you made a mistake. It's your fault to some degree. But the overall rape, somebody deciding to exploit that for sheer sexual pleasure or whatever, that person has issues. Okay, if somebody raped your newborn baby in a very filthy and disgusting way and covered it with filth, okay, should that child later on in life hesitate to admit what happened? Okay, no. It is personal to some degree, but it's something that is also something that affects the public. We don't want people to play stupid about being victimized in regards to sexual harassment and sexual abuse. Okay, so what had happened yesterday was when that occurred, I basically started saying to them, hey, you better stop or I'm going to have to do X, Y, and Z to motherfuckers. You see what I'm saying? And I'm going to have to turn it up, what have you. I don't want to say the K word, the K-I-L-L, what have you. So I said, I'm going to have to do X, Y, and Z. And they kept doing it. They kept pushing it. And they said that they had orders and so on and so forth. And I said, I don't care. Don't follow the pedophiles. Follow me, the divine one, what have you. And we had a very serious disagreement at that time, a very serious conflict and clash. And now, the neighbors have kids, what have you. So I was thinking about this thing. I'm like, man, they like to use things like this to say that, hey, you need medicine, or I don't care what it is, that's not excusable, but I'm the victim here, okay? And that's the bottom line. Whether society's decided to play stupid, okay, the police might have an imperative of keeping the peace in the neighborhood and keeping the noise down or whatever, but the bottom line is technological abuse is real, and there's a bunch of rapists with technology, and like Obama said, I'm sure Clinton would agree, unless he's lost his mind or something, that we all need to come together to fix this. I'm sure if Trump was being honest, he'd admit that we need to address this problem that we have here in America and on this planet of organized sexual harassment, organized rape, technology-assisted rape by deception, rape by force, what have you. Okay? And, when I was a little kid, they also tried to make me gay. They didn't rape me or something, but they did foul fucking shit to me, okay, trying to make me gay. And I'm not gay. I'll never be gay. Okay, gay people are people too, but I'm not a gay person. And I've said this before, I said it again, no one has done more for the LGBT community in history than I have, and I'll go ahead and do one more favor for them. They were trying to get me, they're trying to hack my brain and force me to do it or something, but I'm going to go ahead and say that it's on my own free will here. I'm going to give them another chance. At first I said, okay, that's it. I don't want to work with them, da-da-da-da-da. I was very angry at them, thinking about doing X, Y, and Z to them because they weren't backing down on that issue, and I know the LGBT community is playing stupid. So I'm going to go ahead and do them that favor here, and I'm going to say, I'm going to, you might say, forgive them for it and give them another chance, but they'll probably blow it. I don't know. We'll see here. But this story is significant, and that's that. Thank you.
Really quickly, I wanted to talk about the samurai argument. So there's a lot of similarities between the samurai and me. I have a very potent sense of honor, and I believe that someone has a right, when they're done wrong, to feel angry, to feel more outrage, righteous indignation, to feel offended, and to think about hurting people. Okay, this is where me and some people in mental health disagree, right? I feel that it's your right to feel the desire to hurt people over how they've wronged you, okay? Certainly within reason. But there's certain laws that say that you can't just kill someone because you're offended. Now, if I was the supreme ruler of the world in a way that made it so I set the worldly laws, the human laws, if you will, okay, I would make it legal for certain types of people to retaliate and to kill people who have offended them on a very profound level. Those people would be people with the highest moral worth in reality, not playing a game, not because of who they're related to, no favoritism or nepotism, people who really earned that right. Because I really am against the spirits that would persecute the righteous warrior. Now, again, I must reiterate, I must explain to you again that I firmly believe that, say somebody rapes your wife or something, and you feel the need to kill that person, I believe that you have a right to feel that, okay? And that there are laws that, where people get arrested. Under the laws that we have right now, if you went and killed that person, there's a good chance you'd be arrested and you go to prison. So some people think that you shouldn't be allowed to feel angry. And if they catch you feeling angry, that they should drug you or covertly drug you, or machines should hack your brain. Literally, we live in a time where there's artificial intelligence, there's brain hacking, and there's lots and lots of money, billions and billions and billions, and really trillions of dollars are being spent on artificial intelligence around the world, and it's to create, believe it or not, some sort of a matrix of sorts. I mean, look at these social media sites. First they have you glued to the phone, and then they have you go on these social media sites. And when you come across people on the social media sites, quite often people are like, wow, look how hot she is. I wish I could do this, this, and this with her, right? And some people are perverts with a lot of money and power, corporate psychopaths, and they're parts of massive networks, and they help people, they help each other to work the dark angles to get these females. That's what we have going on right now for sure. People are being fumed and poisoned. There's remote brain hacking going on right now to the point where corporations are spending lots of money trying to prevent people from exploiting their corporations, their security, flaws in their security, okay, using the brain hacking techniques. So the situation is very, very serious. And when people don't get together and double down on things, what happens? It gets worse. Okay, the situation has gotten worse from 10 years ago. It's bad. Imagine somebody 10 years ago who was in 8th grade 10 years ago. They'll have gone through both high school and college, maybe with a master's degree, maybe the bachelor's, assuming that they end at master's or bachelor's, or they have less than 5 years of college or so. And they'll have had a mediocre high school experience, a mediocre college experience, okay, and they'll be well into their 20s. Another 10 years of this lame stuff, they'll be well into their 30s. Now, all the best years of their life would be wasted while people are acting like Ronald McDonald and Jack in the Box and very immature. They won't have a true love. They won't have a moral life in reality. They won't have really enjoyed themselves. Because people look at these issues and they don't understand that the devil's side of the argument is to suppress moral outrage. It makes it easier for the devil to abuse people, including sexually abused children, when the devil suppresses moral outrage. The devil fears the wrath of the righteous person. And so a lot of time and money and effort, a lot of these collaborated efforts, these coordinated efforts rather, are about suppressing the Avenger, the hero, the Skywalker, and anything like that, any force that would cause them to pay for the injustices they cause. So I'm a firm believer that you have a right to feel a potent and fiery anger as a result of being done wrong. I do also believe that if you're in your household, you have a right to scream about who you want to KILL. I don't see anything wrong with that unless you're the type of person who doesn't have a lot of discipline. Okay, you should be watching yourself in that regard. That's part of what the law is for. You have to make decisions. As you see yourself getting angry, why? What is the output of it? I've never went out and killed anybody in my life. Okay, because I'm very disciplined. But I've been very angry quite a bit in life. I've thought about doing things like that quite a bit. But I'm not some psychopath or some murderer. I don't believe in senseless violence. And so we should have serious discussions about this, because we can't just let the New Age guys who are worshiping Lucifer, Sabazius, Dionysus, whatever they want to call them, we can't just let them have their way. Okay? Life is demonic when everyone's either some kind of demonic brute or something, or some kind of evil brute, or some kind of evil fairy that pretends to be good. And that's what we're seeing these days.